Welcome to Wellness as a Way of Life, the podcast for female leaders seeking sustainable energy, clarity, and confidence. I'm Megan Swan, your guide on a journey to mastering wellness as an integrated part of your life. Let's explore personalized wellness strategies that truly resonate with who you are. Hello, welcome to today's episode of Wellness as a Way of Life. We are answering a listener's query. I'm excited for this. We're tackling an increasingly common but rarely discussed challenge: how to navigate not drinking in professional settings. Whether you're sober curious, or just taking a break, the workplace drinking culture can be super tricky terrain. Today, I'm going to share practical strategies for those moments when you're feeling pressure to drink but prefer not to for whatever reason. Plus, some leadership tips for creating more inclusive environments in case you are leading your own team and you can really set the tone. So let's dive in. First off, we need to acknowledge something important. Workplace drinking culture and pressure is real. It can be super intense, from client dinners to company happy hours, quote unquote team building events, to holiday parties. Alcohol often flows freely in professional settings, networking settings, in conferences, you name it. Many people feel that having a drink in hand is expected, especially in industries where deal making happens over drinks or where team bonding involves hitting the bar after work. You might worry about being perceived as uptight, antisocial, or not a quote-unquote team player if you don't participate. But here's the reality. Your choice not to drink is personal and valid regardless of your reasons. And I'm not going to harp so much on the health implications of choosing to drink when you really don't want to, but there is extensive research and evidence. We all know that no amount of alcohol is supporting your well-being. So taking or making the decision to participate in consuming it when you really don't want to just does not make any sense in the long term. So you shouldn't need to justify it to anyone. You really shouldn't. The reality is you need some strategies so that you feel like you can navigate it. So sometimes having a ready response to make these situations easier to navigate is all it takes, like having thought out, like, what will your response be? So, practical strategies for non-drinkers. What are your options when you find yourself in a work situation where everyone's ordering alcohol and you'd prefer not to? Let's break down some of the approaches you can take. So, strategy one, we're going to call the Mocktail Marqerade. One of the simplest approaches is to order something non-alcoholic that looks like a cocktail, such as, I did this for years, sparkling water with lime and mint in a highball glass is virtually indistinguishable from a mojito. So just go directly to the bartender and ask them to make you that, and then ask the server to keep them coming and, not reveal, if you will, that you're having a mocktail versus a cocktail. And most bartenders are happy to create something special. So just ask for something festive without alcohol if you don't want it to use my suggestion with the mint and lime. Pro tip, find your go-to mocktail order that you genuinely enjoy. When you order with confidence, you're less likely to face questions. I found this personally at a tech conference where I was networking with a lot of mostly women, but not all women, for the first time. And it's a bit different for me because I'm, very openly sober, but I did notice something that I think is super interesting. So having to ask, hey, everybody's ordering, let's say, wine or beer, right? They're not even asking for a menu. And I always said, is there a mocktail or a mocktail menu? Which opens a whole new box of options for so many people. They're like, ooh, that sounds good. They're curious to look at the menu, or more often than not, I ordered one and they saw how pretty it was and how it seemed so much more refreshing than having a beer or wine. And next round, they then ordered a mocktail. And it's just giving permission. Sometimes being a leader in this is so important, but Let's go circle back to that more in the leadership one, because if you're in a situation where you're not the leader in the room, it might seem really difficult to lead on that. So strategy 2 is the one and done. If you're comfortable having just one drink but want to avoid multiple rounds, order something you can nurse throughout the evening or the event. A glass of wine, for example, you can kind of make it last hours, sip it slowly. And when offered another, simply say, I'm still working on this one, thanks, and make it like a non-starter. Pro tip, hold your glass near to the top so your hand warms the drink slightly. This makes it less appealing to drink quickly and gives you a reason to sip it slowly. Or I would argue, get a really amazing type of wine and like really just enjoy it, make it a whole experience, and nurse it over the course of the evening instead of going round by round with everyone else. So strategy 3, the ready response. Sometimes having a simple explanation can deflect pressure and end the conversation quickly. So here are some of my personal favorites. I'm on antibiotics right now. Sorry, I can't. I'm doing a 30-day health challenge or detox. I'm the designated driver for tonight. I have to pick up my kids later. I have an early morning tomorrow. I'm training for a XYZ sporting event, half marathon. Pro tip, keep it brief and change the subject quickly. Most people won't pressure further if you immediately pivot to ask them a question about themselves. People love to talk about themselves. Strategy 4, the honest approach. For those comfortable with it, sometimes honesty is the best policy. I'm exploring a non-drinking lifestyle right now, or I've found I feel better when I don't drink. You might be surprised how many people respect straightforward responses. Pro tip, if you go this route, say it with confidence. You have to own it. The more matter of fact you are, the less likely others will see it as it's not an open debate. You're just stating your truth. Love that. All right. So leadership responsibilities. If maybe you're not the boss, but you are in a leadership role in certain situations where alcohol seems to be flowing as a default, you have a unique opportunity and I would argue responsibility to create more inclusive environments. Here are some approaches that make a big difference. Be the change. Always include a non-alcoholic option when presenting choices to your team. Instead of asking beer or wine, we have beer, wine, sparkling water, and this great non-alcoholic mocktail. What would you like? Lead with the mocktail. So consider ordering a non-alcoholic option yourself first, even if you plan to drink alcohol later. This simple act helps normalize non-drinking and might make others feel more comfortable choosing what they actually want. Research and recommend. Take time to research good non-alcoholic alternatives like NA wines and craft non-alcoholic beers. Be able to recommend specific brands and show you that you value inclusion. Try saying, has anyone tried the Athletic Brewing Company IPA? It's non-alcoholic and surprisingly good. Or create alternative events. Not every team bonding experience needs to be centered around alcohol. Consider a morning coffee meeting at a really cool coffee shop. Coffee shop ambiance, I'm obsessed. And have you seen how even in Toronto, LA, there's all these coffee shops with live DJs in the mornings? How fun. Make it a lunch event, actively based outings like a walk or a hike, or volunteer opportunities that shift the focus from drinking to connecting. Ultimately, the bigger picture here, what we're really talking about is cultural change. Every time you personally, confidently order a non-alcoholic option, you help normalize diverse choices. Every time you as a leader make space for non-drinkers, you create more inclusive workplace environments, networking opportunities, safe spaces. There's so many reasons. I think most people need to understand that in a given audience at any given time, 30% or 1/3 of the adults, for whatever reason, whether it's they're, like I said, on antibiotics, doing a detox, for women, they're pregnant and or breastfeeding, they're trying to get pregnant. There's so many reasons that individuals are not drinking at a given moment, that if you're leaving out 1/3 of your team or your populace, it's really not being inclusive. And the reality is that people choose not to drink for countless reasons. I haven't mentioned yet the religion piece. So health, of course, religion, addiction recovery, pregnancy, medication interactions, just personal preference. And none of these reasons should exclude someone from full participation in their professional life. So remember, navigating sobriety in professional settings can get easier with practice. Find approaches that work for you and feel authentic. Prepare for situations in advance and know that you're part of a growing movement of badass bitches moving toward more inclusive professional environments, leading them and leading the charge. If you have strategies that have worked well for you, I'd love to hear them. Share them with me on social media or in the DMs. You can find me at Megan Swan Wellness on LinkedIn or Instagram. I love hearing from you. If you have your own question, you want some advice on how to navigate something in the wellness, leadership, confidence realm of your career, I'd love to hear it. And I'm wishing you an absolutely amazing week wherever you are in the world. Until next time, I'm Megan Swan. This is Wellness as a Way of Life. And thanks for tuning in to Wellness as a Way of Life. Are you ready to make wellness a natural part of your routine? Let's stay connected. Go to meganswanwellness.com. Until next time, live well and thrive.